कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की जय, राधा माधव की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंच तत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय। तागोत हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. So, today we'll be discussing from Canto 4, Chapter 4, verse number 7, 8, and 9. Let's share the screen. So, 4, 4, 7. Kamagatam tatra न कश्चनाद्रिय विमानितां यज्ञ कृतो भयाजनः ऋते स्वश्रुर्वै जननीं च सादराः प्रेमाश्रुकण्ठै कण्ठ्य परिशस्वजुर्मुधा तामागतां तत्र न कश्चनाद्रियात् विमानितां यज्ञ कृतो भयाजनः ऋते स्वश्रुर्वै जननीं च सादराः प्रेमाश्रुकण्ठ्य परिशस्वजुर्मुदा. Any one of you can recite?
Hare Krishna. May I recite, Prabhu?
Yes, Mami.
तामागतां तत्र न कश्चनाद्रियाद् विमानितां यज्ञ कृतो भयाज् जनः ऋते स्वस्र वै जनानीं च सादरा प्रेमाश्रुकण्ठ्य परिशस्व परिशश्वजुर्मुदा. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Synonymous word to word meaning. Tam, her, Sati. Agatam, having arrived. Tatra, there. Na, not. Kaschana, anyone. Adriyat, received. Vimanitam, not receiving respect. Yajna kritaha, of the performer of the sacrifice, Daksha. Bhayat, from fear. Janaha, person. Rite, accept. Swasraha, her own sisters. Why, indeed. Jananim, mother. Cha, and. Sa adaraha, with respect. Premashru, kantyaha, whose throats were filled with tears of affection. Parishasvajahu, embraced. Muda, with glad faces. Translation and purport by His Divine Gift Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. When Sati, with her followers, reached the arena, because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who, with tears in their eyes and with glad faces, welcomed her and talked with her pleasingly. Purport. The mother and sisters of Sati could not follow the others, who did not receive Sati very well. Due to natural affection, they immediately embraced her with tears in their eyes and with loving feelings. This shows that women as a class are very soft hearted. Their natural affection and love cannot be checked by artificial means. Although the men present were very learned Brahmanas and demigods, they were afraid of their superior Daksha. And because they knew that their welcoming Sati would displease him, although in their minds they wanted to receive her, they could not do so. Women are naturally soft hearted, but men are sometimes very hard hearted. Go to the 8th verse. Sodarya samprashna samartavataya matra cha matra shwasrbishcha sadaram dattam saparyam varamasanam cha sa nadat pitra pratinandita sati सौदर्य संप्रश्न समर्थतया मात्रा च मात्र श्वसुरभिश्च सादरम् दत्तां सपर्यां वरमासनं च सा नादत्त पित्रा प्रतिनन्दिता सती. Any one of you can decide?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Manaji.
सौदर्य संप्रश्न समर्थवार्तया मात्रा च मातृश्वश्रुभिश्च सादरम् दत्तां सपर्यां वरम् आसनं च स नादत्त पित्रा प्रतिनन्दिता सती. हरे कृष्ण. धन्यवाद.
Synonyms, word to word meaning. Saudarya, of her sisters. Samprashna, with the greetings. Samartha, proper. Vartaya, tidings. Matra, by her mother. Cha, and. Matra, Swasrubihi, by her aunts. Cha, and. Sa Adaram, along with respect. Dattam, which was offered. Saparyam, worship, adoration. Varam, presents. Asanam, a seat. Cha, and. Sa, she, Sati. Na Adatta, did not accept. Pitra, by her father. Apratinandita, not being welcomed. Sati, Sati. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation purport. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception. And although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything. For her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. Purport. Sati did not accept greetings offered by her sisters and mother, for she was not at all satisfied by her father's silence. Sati was the youngest child of Daksha, and she knew that she was his pet. But now, because of her association with Lord Shiva, Daksha forgot all his affection for his daughter, and this very much aggrieved her. The material bodily conception is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. Bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Go to the ninth verse. Arudra bhagam tamavekshya chadvaram pitra cha deve kritahelanam vibhau ana anadrita yajna sadasya dishwari चुकोपलोकान् इव दक्ष्यति रुषा रुद्रभागं तमवेक्ष्य चाद्वरं पित्रा च देवे कृतहेलनं विभौ अनादृतायज्ञ सदस्यधीश्वरी चुकोपलोकान् इव दक्ष्यति रुषा. Any one of you can decide.
May I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mami.
Hare Krishna. अरुद्रभागं तमवेक्ष्य चाध्वरं पित्रा च देवे कृतहेलनं विभौ अनादृतायज्ञ सदस्यधीश्वरी चुकोपलोका निवधक्ष्यति रुषा. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What word meaning? Arudra Bhagam, having no oblations of for Lord Shiva. Tam, that, Avekshya, seeing, Cha, and Advaram, place of sacrifice, Pitra, by her father, Cha, and Deve, to Lord Shiva, Krita Helanam, contempt having been shown, Vibhav, to the Lord, Anadrita, not being received, Yajna Sadasi, in the assembly of the sacrifice, Adishwari, Sati, Chukopa, became greatly angry, Lokan, the 14 worlds, Eva, as if, Dakshati, burning, Rusha, with anger. Translation and purport by Divine Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. Present in the arena of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes. Purport. By offering oblations in the fire while chanting the Vedic mantra Swaha, one offers respect to all the demigods, great sages, and pitas, including Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. It is customary that Shiva is one of those who are offered respects. But Sati, while personally present in the arena, saw that the Brahmanas did not utter the mantra offering oblations to Lord Shiva. Namah Shivaya Swaha. She was not sorry for herself, for she was ready to come to her father's house without being invited. But she wanted to see whether or not her husband was being respected. To see her relatives, her sisters, and mother was not so important. Even when she was received by her mother and sisters, she did not care, for she was most concerned that her husband was being insulted in the sacrifice. When she marked the insult, she became greatly angry, and she looked at her father so angrily that Daksha appeared to burn in her vision. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगणरघुनाथामितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणलिता श्रीविशाखांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचं इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणतगादीन् प्राणानमो भगवते शायितुभ्यं मुखं करोति वाचालं तं कृपातमं नमो विष्णु कृष्ण विष्णु गुरुदेव श्रीमते महाविष्णु स्वामी जी नाम है नमो विष्णु कृष्ण विष्णु गुरुदेव मूर्ति विराज स्वामी है गुरु विशेष में पांच स्थान है जय श्री कृष्ण की So Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji, again welcome all of you for this hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam. So we will be discussing from 4th canto, 4th chapter, the 3 verses we decided now, 7 and 9, 7, 8 and 9. So this chapter is entitled Sati Quits Her Body. And the previous chapter was talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. We have been seeing, right, these chapters wherein. So Sati, she was the youngest child of Daksha. We saw just now in the purport, right? Sati was the youngest child of Daksha, and she knew that she was his pet, right? Because the youngest normally that's what happens. But now, because of her association with Lord Shiva, see the point. Sati was very dear to Daksha as a pet. But now, because Sati was the wife of Lord Shiva, now Daksha forgot all his affection for his daughter. And this was very much aggrieving Sati. So Prabhupada says in that purport, one beautiful line, he says, the material bodily consumption is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. See, when there are too many material activities by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person or a nation attacks another person or nation on slightest of provocations. So this is the rule of this age, Kali, quarrel. See, the atmosphere is already polluted with corruption of all descriptions. And everyone knows it, right? So there are so many unwanted literatures full of materialistic ideas of sense gratification. So the people in general want to read. That is their natural instinct. But because their minds are polluted, they want such literatures. But you just try to understand, under the circumstances, this transcendental literature like Bhagavatam, if they go through at least Srimad Bhagavatam, it will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt mind of the people, but also it will supply food for the hankering of after reading some interesting literature. So that they get the taste. See, in the beginning, reading Bhagavatam, they may not like it. Because one who is suffering from jaundice, he is reluctant to take sugar candy. But we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for the jaundice. So similarly, let there be a very systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. So when men have a taste for this literature, the other literatures which are catering to the poison of the society, they will automatically cease. See, Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, we are sure that everyone in human society will welcome Srimad Bhagavatam. And he said, even though it is not now present with so many, so many faults, because it is recommended by Sri Narada Muni. We saw in the chapter, right? See, it is duty of everyone to become Krishna conscious and to serve the cause of Krishna. See, when one actually realizes, he becomes a Mahatma, a great soul. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that after many births, when one comes to the platform of real knowledge, he surrenders unto me. Why? Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Because the wise man realizes, see, Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. See, however, Krishna says that such a great soul is rarely found. First he says surrenders unto me, but such a great soul is also rare. Why? If an intelligent person comes to understand that the ultimate goal of life is to surrender to Krishna, then why should he hesitate? Why not surrender immediately? See, what is the point of waiting for so many births? So when somebody comes to the point of surrender, he becomes a real sannyasi. Krishna never forces anyone to surrender to him. Surrender is the result of love, transcendental love. When there is force and when there is no freedom, there can be no love. See, when a mother loves a child, she's not forced to do so. Nor does she do so out of expectation of some salary or remuneration. Correct? No. So similarly, we can love the Supreme Lord Krishna in so many ways. We can love Krishna as a master, as a friend, as a child, or as a husband. There are 5 basic rasas or relationships in which we are eternally related to Krishna. See, when we are actually in the liberated stage of knowledge, we can understand that our relationship with the Lord is in a particular rasa. And that platform is called Swarupa Siddhi or real self-realization. See, everyone has an eternal relationship with the Lord, either as master and servant, friend, parent and child, husband and wife, or lover, beloved. See, these relationships are eternally present. See, the whole process of spiritual realization and the actual perfection of yoga is to revive our consciousness of this relationship. See, at present, our relationship with the Supreme Lord is pervertedly reflected in this material world. Perverted. In the material world, the relationship between master and servant is based on money or force or exploitation. There is no question of service out of love in the material world. So the relationship between master and servant perfectly reflected. Perfectly. It continually so. You see, this relationship continues only for so long as the master can pay the servant. As soon as the payment stops, the relationship also stops. So similarly, in the material world, there may be a relationship between friends, but as soon as there is a slight disagreement, the friendship breaks, and the friends become an enemy with each other. So when there is a difference of opinion between son and parents, the son leaves the home, and the relationship is gone. The same with husband and wife, a slight difference of opinion, and there is divorce. So no relationship in this middle world is actual or eternal. We must always remember that these, what you call ephemeral relationships, are simply perverted reflections of the eternal relationship we have with the Supreme Personality of God. See, we have the experience that the reflection of an object in a glass is not real. It may appear real, but when you go and go to touch it, we find that there is only glass. So we must come to understand that these relationships as friend, parent, child, servant, husband, wife, lover, so many, they are simply reflections of that relationship which we have with Krishna. See, when we come to this platform of understanding, then we are perfect in knowledge. And when that knowledge comes, we begin to understand that we are servants of Krishna and that we have an eternal love relationship with Him. So, in this love relationship with Krishna, there is no question of remuneration. But of course, remuneration is there. It is much greater than whatever we earn here in the material world through the rendering of service. There is no limit to Krishna's remuneration. See, in this connection, there is the story of Bali Maharaj, a very powerful king, right, who conquered a number of planets. So the denizens of the heavenly planets, they appealed to the Supreme Lord to save them because they were being conquered. They were conquered by the demonic king Bali Maharaj. So upon hearing their pleas, Krishna took the shape of a dwarf, Vamana, right, Brahmana, small boy, and approached Bali Maharaj, saying, "My dear king, I would like something from you. You are a great monarch, and you are renowned for giving in charity to the Brahmanas. So would you give me something?" He asked. Bali Maharaj said, "I will give you what you want." So he said, "I simply want whatever land I can cover in 3 steps with my steps." "Oh, is that all?" "Yeah, I can give you whatever you want. What will you do with such a small piece of land?" So the boy smiled and said, "Though it may be small, it'll be okay for me. It'll be sufficient for me." Bali Maharaj agreed. And the boy dwarf, Vamana, took 2 steps and covered the entire universe. He then asked Bali Maharaj where he was going to take this 3rd step. And Bali Maharaj, understanding that Supreme Lord was showing him his favor, replied, "My dear Lord, I have now lost everything. I have no other property, but I do have my head. Would you kindly step on my head?" Krishna was then very much pleased with Bali Maharaj. And he asked, "What would you like from me?" See, after that, now Krishna is asking him, "What would you like from me as Vaman or God?" Bali Maharaj said, "I never expected anything from you. But I understand that you wanted something from me. And now I offered you everything." The Lord said, "Yes, But from me, from my side, I have something for you. I shall remain always an order carrier servant in your court. In this way, the Lord became Bali Maharaj's doorman, and that was his return benefit, right? So if we offer something to the Lord, it is returned millions of times. But we should not expect this. The Lord is always eager to return the service of his servant. So whoever thinks that the service of the Lord is actually his duty, is perfect in knowledge, and has attained the perfection of yoga. So it's our duty to serve them, right? And return, don't worry. Krishna will take care. So we should be very clever to understand about the spiritual life. We should not be dragged to this material conception of life due to this false affection. See, this bodily affection is false affection because the body will not exist. See, suppose I and my wife or my children, we are all very happy. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Tesham nidanam pramattam pashyanapi na pashyati. That is 2:14 Bhagavatam. Person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life. Being too attached to fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. So it is said in Bhagavatam, for example, suppose if you are preparing a very nice house, constructing a very nice house. All right. Now, if somebody asks you, well, sir, why are you building such a nice house? If you answer, yes, just to set fire in it. What the people will think? Moda, what a fool. He's building such a nice house and at the same time is to set fire. Then why are you taking so much trouble, sir? See, actually, our position is like this. Because the whole life, I'm working so hard because of maintaining this temporary body of myself, my son, my daughter, father, mother. So setting fire. See, at the end, the setting of fire. What is that? Setting fire means after death, as you put it in the graveyard, they set fire. They set fire to the dead body. So everything that we are creating, that will at the end will be set into fire. So the Bhagavata says that Pashyanapi na pashyati, tesham nidanam. That is, everything will be destroyed. Still, the thing which will be destroyed, we are after them. We are after the things which will be destroyed. The things which will exist, we are never after them. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Bhagavad Gita 2.20 it says. So Narottama Dasa Thakura has sung, De smriti nahi yara, samsara bandhana kahantara. One who is spiritually advanced has no connection with the body or with the bodily actions and reactions. So when one comes to understand that he is not the body and therefore is neither fat nor skinny, one attains the topmost form of spiritual realization. So when one is not spiritually realized, this bodily conception entangles one, completely entangles in the material world. See, at the present moment, all human society is laboring under the bodily conception. Therefore, in the Shastras, people in this age are referred to as Dvipada Pashu. Dvipada Pashu, two-legged animals. No one can be happy in a civilization conducted by such animals. So Prabhupada says, our Krishna conscious movement is trying to raise the fallen human society to status of spiritual understanding. It is not possible for everyone to become immediately self-realized like Jadabrata. However, as it is given in Bhagavatam 1-18, Nashta Prayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, by spreading the Bhagavata principles, we can raise the human society to the platform of perfection. When one is not affected by the bodily conception, one can advance to the Lord's devotional service. That's what Nashta Prayasha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhagavati Bhakti Naishtiki. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So the more we advance our freedom from the bodily conception, the more we are fixed in devotional service. And the more we are happy and peaceful. See, in this regard, Srila Madhavacharya says that those who are too materially affected, they continue the bodily conception. And such persons are concerned with different bodily symptoms. Whereas one freed from bodily conceptions, He lives without the body, even in the material condition. See, when we reach that stage, love of God, love of Krishna, then we love everyone. Because Krishna is in there in everyone as Paramatma. So without coming to that central point, our love on the middle condition, conception of life, like equality, brotherhood, they're all simply cheating process. So that is not possible. So you have to come to that stage. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 20.126, it says, when one attains the transcendental bliss of an intimate relationship with Krishna, he renders service to him and tastes the mellows of Krishna consciousness. Krishna Madhurya Seva Praptir Karana. See, just like in the middle world, when we serve somebody, we become tired. We become very much tired, right? Distressed. Because we do not like to serve. But if we serve Krishna, then we shall feel some ecstasy in increasing the service. There is no payment in Krishna service. Still, a person engaged in Krishna service, in Krishna consciousness, he will be encouraged to serve more and more. This is the distinction. He's serving in the middle world, is serving in Krishna consciousness. See, in the middle platform, if you serve somebody, after some time you feel tired, satiated. No, you won't like it. But if you engage in the service of Krishna, you will find yourself more energetic. You will serve more and more. That is the test. What is the test? If I feel tired, then that is material. See, when serving, if you feel tired, then it is material. And if I feel more encouraged, that means it is blessings of Krishna. So one is engaged in service of Krishna, not officially or to make a show. He feels enlivened in rendering such transcendental service. See, some of you must be feeling like that, right? When you're doing service for Krishna in various programs, Rath Yatra we recently had, right? You might be feeling so wonderful, enlivened, rendering such service. See, otherwise you cannot take so much responsibility, working all day unless you feel that. So that is the test. See, there is some transcendental ecstasy, feeling in the service of the Lord. So in the beginning, we may not relish that transcendental feeling. But as we go on increasing, we'll feel it. We'll feel it. This is called Krishna Rasa. So there is some taste, right? So suppose a person is writing poetry. In writing the poetry, he feels some taste. Suppose somebody is playing a flute. He feels some taste in that. He loves it. So transcendently, you will have a taste for Krishna service. That is Krishna consciousness. A taste, right? You like to serve more and more. The more you serve, you will serve more and more. That is transcendental service. See, once, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving one example. See, a learned astrologer, he came to the house of a poor man, okay, and seeing his distressed condition, he questioned him. See, he said, the man is living in a very ragged way, wretched life. He saw his kundali, no? But he should not have done like that. His horoscope says that he should be a rich man. His palmistry says that he should be a rich man. That's what the astrologer told about the poor man. So the astrologer asked him, I see you have got some good symptoms in your horoscope, in your palm. So why are you suffering? Why are you suffering? He was asking. The astrologer was asking him. So why are you unhappy? See, your father was very wealthy, but he did not disclose his wealth to you because he died elsewhere. I see that you have got paternal property hidden somewhere. You have got some money left by your father, but it is hidden somewhere. So you have to find out, please. So just as the words of the astrologer, which gave the news of the poor man's treasure, the Vedic literatures advise one about Krishna consciousness when one is inquisitive to know why he is in a distressed material condition. See, as a poor man, under the instruction of the astrologer, after hearing from the astrologer, he begins to search out the wealth. Where my father has kept the hidden wealth, I must find out. So he begins to search it out. So as the astrologer gives instruction to the poor man that you should not live such wretched life, you are a rich man's son, your father has left some property, you can enjoy that, find it out. So this example is just applicable to the Vedic instruction. Vedas, just like the Vedas astrologer, we are struggling in this material nature. Very hard life. So Vedas asks, why are you struggling? You are a very rich man's son. You are a son of God. You are son of Krishna, which is full of opulences. He is the proprietor of everything. He is all powerful, all beautiful, full of knowledge. You are son of such a father. Why are you suffering? Just see the comparison. Astrologer says to a poor man that you should not have suffered so much. Because I see from astrological calculation that you have got your father's property. Just find out where it is. It is within your house. Just find it out. Your similar instruction is given in the Vedas. In the Upanishad, Katha Upanishad says, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Bodhata. Please wake up and try to understand the boon that you have in this human form of life. The path of spiritual realization is very difficult. It is sharp like a razor's edge. That is the opinion of learned scholars, right? So Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhata. So you human being, you're sleeping under the material spell, under illusion. Don't do this. Get up, get up. Just act. Have your share of happiness. You are son of God. You are son of the Supreme Personality of Krishna. Why should you suffer? Just search out. This is the instruction of Vedas. So very nicely it is given, right? Vedas instruct that you should not toil so much hard for a simple existence. You are the son of the Supreme. So what is that Supreme? Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasya Shriya. Vishnu Puran says 6.547. Full wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. So these are the 6 opposites of Supreme Personality of God. Rupa Goswami in 1043-17 purports explains in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 5 main rasas: neutrality, servitude, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. And 7 secondary rasas: amazement, humor, chivalry, compassion, fury, fear, and dread. So altogether there are 12 rasas. And the supreme object of them all is Krishna himself. In other words, our love and affection are actually meant for Krishna. Unfortunately, out of ignorance, we stubbornly try to squeeze happiness and love out of material relationships, which are not directly connected to Krishna. So life becomes very constant frustration. The solution is simple. Surrender to Krishna, love Krishna's devotees, and be happy forever. Prabhupada says in one of the lectures, Bhakti means exchange of love between God and the individual soul. Give an example. In a water tank, you throw one stone, it becomes a circle. And the circle expands unless the circle comes to the shore. Similarly, our loving affairs begins from the personal self to family, from family to society, community, nation, international. But still it is imperfect unless the circle reaches to the lotus feet of Krishna. Then it is satisfied. So we saw in the purport, no, bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy. Krishna, right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, says, we are not this body, we are spirit souls. So this affection towards the bodily relationship, always slight provocation, terminates everything. So one has to establish this relationship. Like Arjuna is in relationship with Krishna as a friend. In one of the classes, Prabhupada says, you can be in relationship with Krishna as a lover. You can be in relationship with Krishna as a master, as master and servant. You should be servant, not a master. You can be in relationship with Krishna as father and son. Krishna is your father and you are the son. So there are so many relationships. So as we have got relationship with this within this material world, this is only perverted reflection of that 5 relationship with God. But we have forgotten that. This Krishna conscious movement is to revive that consciousness. It is nothing new. It is just to bring an insane man to the normal condition of life. To forget God means that is abnormal condition. And to have a relationship with Krishna is normal condition. So Krishna consciousness means to be re-established in our normal condition of life. See, just like you will find in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna and Arjuna, no, they are in relationship of friendship. So when Krishna says that, I told this yoga, Bhagavad Gita yoga, to the sun god some millions of years before. Arjuna, just to represent all our interests, he said, oh Krishna, you are my contemporary. How is that you spoke Bhagavad Gita 40 million years before to sun god? So Krishna answered, Bahuni me janmani tava charjuna. In 4.5 Bhagavad Gita, he says, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Oh, subdue of the enemy. So both you and myself, we were born many times, but you have forgotten. I remember. This is the distinction. So here we see that the friendship of Krishna is going on not in this birth, but perpetually that friendship is there. But in the material world, the friendship, it will exist for a few years and then break. Therefore, it is only a reflection. It is not real. If you make your friendship with Krishna, it will never break. If you make your master Krishna, you will never be cheated. If you love Krishna as your son, he will never die. So if you love Krishna as your lover or husband, he will be the best husband, best lover. No divorce. That is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is unlimited. So he has unlimited number of devotees. So some of them are trying to love him as forever, as lover or husband, right? So now what Krishna will do? If you love him, if you do service and all, what Krishna will do? Ye tam mam prapadyante tam satayva bhajamyam. 4.11 Bhagavad Gita. All of them, as they surrender to me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. See, that's why in the eighth verse, today's eighth verse, Prabhupada says the material body consumption is so polluted that even upon slight provocation of all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. Bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy. So the reason why aprasangata is advised for devotees is because too much intimacy with someone may give them the power to influence our thoughts and behavior. And if that person doesn't have a spiritual bent of mind, then our sadhana shall get hampered owing to their lower consciousness. See, one can only give what he has. One can only give to others what he has. So if one is matured in Krishna consciousness bhakti, then he can impart his Krishna consciousness to us. If we get close to a materialist person, then such association will only inflate our material desires. So such association is which alienates no one from the Lord, and the spiritual ways of life are not recommended. So in Ramayana, Sita Devi narrates a wonderful anecdote to Sri Rama to explain what close association can do to a person. Sita Mata said, some years ago, there was a truthful and pious sage living in a forest and was keeping himself busy with holy austerities. At that time, a soldier, so actually this was Indradeva who had come in disguise only to create obstruction in his austerities. The soldier, he came with a sword in his hand and kept his sword in the presence of his hermitage. So it was deposited with the sage on the basis of trust. So he gave it to him. So now being mindful of the faith that the soldier placed on him, the sage felt bound by obligation to safeguard this sword. So everywhere he went, he would carry the sword with him to protect the trust which the soldier had given him his task, right? So as he was constantly carrying the weapon, his piety came down. His determination to do austerities fell apart, and cruelty overpowered his mind. Then, while taking pleasure in cruelty in the company of the weapon, the sage became negligent and he was led astray by adharma and descended into hell. This is what happened in the past as a result of the association with weapon. The association with the weapon is said to be the same consequence as is the association with fire. So let's analyze this story. Sage, a holy man with years of piety and austere life, was pulled down from his yoga owing to his intimate association with a weapon. So what would happen to someone like us who are struggling to be devotees of the Lord? That too when we are having tons of baggage. What baggage? Sins. Of we don't know how many lifetimes. And when we associate with some people or object intimately, what happens? So mostly our intimate relationships are with our close-knit family members, right? Such as parents, siblings, spouse, right? Friends, other devotees with whom we develop certain rapport. So Prabhupada does not expect us to drop our relationships or duties arising from these relationships. Okay. All that we need to understand is that we must try to fulfill every duty towards each of these relationships. Okay. However, these relations should not gain such power from us, that they try to hold us back from our eternal duty of being servant of the Lord. My Guru Maharaj says, he nicely explains the word prasanga. Pra means Prabhu, Sang means association. So prasanga means association of Lord. Prabhu ka Sang. And to associate with the Lord, we have to give up that which is aprasang, non-godly. So our attraction to the associate with someone or something must only be to the extent they are attracted to the Supreme Lord, or that would bring us closer to the Supreme Lord. See, the fourth canto, this canto, we saw the famous pastime, right? The Daksha and Lord Shiva, right? So Sati Mata, wife of Lord Shiva, goes to sacrifice being performed by Father Daksha against the wishes of Lord Shiva, right? He was trying to tell her not to go. So present in that arena, Sati saw that there were no oblations for the husband, Lord Shiva. So she realized not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife herself, he did not receive her also. She became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn with her eyes. Burn him. Jala dega, just dekhne se na. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all. Then she glorifies the great quality of Lord Shiva. See, Daksha's behavior was quite opposite to that of Lord Shiva. Therefore, she chastised him. See, sometimes there was a question which was asked to my Guru Maharaj. Maharaj, sometimes I have the propensity to treat people differently. What should I do? So he said, this is the problem. Our behavior is so bad, and we complain to Krishna that we don't have this and that. What can Krishna do when we don't behave properly? He said, everyone is created differently by Krishna. He has created them differently for his pleasure. The variegations are there for his pleasure. So when you don't respect these varied entities, no, you are completely disregarding the Lord and his creations. You chant with your right hand, and with your left hand, you are beating the Lord's back by not accepting. So he said, we should look to Lord Shiva for this. Well, Lord Shiva, when Satimata was telling, no, Lord Shiva is the most beloved of all living entities. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him. No one is his enemy also. No one but you could be envious of such a universal being who is free from all enmity. She was telling Daksha. So this is how we can save ourselves. No intimacy, no rivalry. This is our way. So when you treat one person nicely and the other person in a completely different way, you are just telling us that you have some motivation. You want something from one person. That is why you are treating him better. You have nothing to get from other person. So you treat him differently. See, anyway, your seva is zero because you are motivated. So why are you still behaving like this? This behavior must be changed. So, and plus we are also judging people, right? See, what we are trying to say is, who is giving you the right to see who is great and who is not? Everyone is equal. So just see to it that you give 100% to everyone. Serve them nicely. Respect Bhagavatam. Everything else will fall into place. See, people may demand respect, but your first duty is to always to Bhagavatam. Apply Bhagavatam into your duties and everyone will be pleased. Everyone will be respected. Don't be caught up with the people. Be caught up with Bhagavatam. See, many times we read and chant, but find that there is no progress. So until and unless our chanting and reading can improve our behavior, they're simply a show of our grossest motivated efforts. See, sometimes it just so happens that we come across certain bad qualities in some people we meet. So in such situations, it is important for us not to meditate or brood over these qualities and judge their behavior. Okay. If we take pleasure in such activities, then that's the beginning of our downfall. The moment we start judging them, we pass unnecessary comments about them, insult them, discuss about them with others, unnecessarily waste our valuable time and others' time in such gossips. Very nice story, which very nicely brings the message not to judge anyone quickly. See, there was a man who had 4 sons. He wanted his sons to learn not to judge things too quickly. So he sent them each on a quest to go and look at a pear tree. There is a pear tree. Go to them. That is very distance away. So the first one, first son went in winter, second in the spring, third in summer, and the fourth one in the fall. So when they all gone and come back, he called them and together to describe what they had seen. First son said that the tree was ugly, bent and twisted. Second said, no, that it was covered with green buds and full of promise. Third son disagreed. He said it was laden with blossoms, smelled so sweet, looked so beautiful. It was the most graceful thing in the air ever seen. The last son disagreed. It's all that he said it was ripe and drooping with fruit, full of life and fulfillment. Man then explained to his sons that they were all right because they had seen each scene but only one season into the tree's life. So you cannot judge a tree or a person by only one season. So Lord Krishna is the supreme judge for all of us. And our duty here in this world is to just simply engage in serving him. We need not take his role and start judging people in a hasty manner. We should just meditate upon good qualities and all of them. See, once a lady in a house, she saw her neighbor hang the clothes for drying through her window in the opposite. She thought for herself, see, her neighbor is very dirty. She's not washing the clothes properly. Because she hung the clothes still looking dirty, even after washing. So she observed the same for months, and she nicknamed her neighbor as the unclean lady. Then suddenly one fine day, she found the clothes of her neighbor sparkling bright. Immediately reported the same to her husband. See, no, her husband smiled and said, smile at her. When the wife wanted to know the reason for his smile, he replied, it's only today that I've cleared our glass windows after a long time. So we're able to see through it clearly now. So same is the case with us. We have so many dirt accumulated within us. Instead of purifying ourselves first, we constantly try to find fault in others. So while warning her father Daksha for finding faults in Lord Shiva, she told him, you have found fault with such a great soul. See, we are ourselves are to be blamed. We many times blame others because the construction of our body is such that we can only see others, right? I can see your face very clearly. And however hard I try, I can't see my face. I can see the reflection of the mirror, but it's not the real face. So because of this bodily construction, we have permanent tendency to blame others for our own defects. And we always point our fingers at others. Frankly speaking, nobody does anything. We are the ones who are completely wrong. When you point fingers at others, you see that one finger is towards the others and three are towards us. So why to worry about one? Worry about the three. When we start blaming ourselves, the whole thing completely subsides. So you try this. See, in your misunderstandings, you try this thing. Instead of blaming others for our own difficulties, we should inspect our own self. And you will find out that when you create this tendency, the house which was a Kurukshetra Yuddha will be completely very peaceful. Completely to change for the good. And all the living entities who are staying in the house will be completely satisfied. And instead of just blaming each other and shouting and screaming, will be completely peaceful and will be smiling at each other. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. This is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam. So aversion to fault finding, that is apaishunam, is one of the most important divine qualities which we all must inculcate within ourselves. And whenever we feel like finding fault in others, we must first look within ourselves, whether we are free from it. So instead of finding faults, we have to cleanse ourselves. Let us remember, we should stop criticism. Criticism will drag us to the unwanted atmosphere. If at all you want to criticize, criticize yourself. So we will endeavor not to see anything bad in others. That is good. We will see only good in others. It is better. We will not only see good, but magnify even a little goodness in others like Lord Shiva. It is the best. So when we change our behavior along with our devotional service, then we become a devotee who is dear to Krishna and to all the Vaishnavas. See, in this middle world, we identify each other based on bodily relationship, right? And fail to see all the living entities with spiritual vision. So as a result, there is always some quarrel or misunderstanding, and we feel disturbed. So these thoughts keep troubling our minds, right? So through the pastime of Daksha Yajna, Prabhupada is teaching us how we can forget such thoughts and give up the bodily concept of life. So as we saw, Prajapati Daksha The father of Mother Sati, arranged for a yajna and purposefully did not invite Lord Shiva. And still Sati wanted to go there. In the pretext of seeing her friends and family, she requested Lord Shiva to come. When Shiva refused, she decided to go alone. So her inner intention was not to just see her family, but to reveal to Daksha about the glories of Lord Shiva and make him realize his mistake. And at the sacrificial arena, she realized that Daksha had not only failed to invite Lord Shiva, but he had not welcomed Sati also. And again missed to keep oblations for Lord Shiva. So after chastising Daksha, Sati decided to quit the body given by her father, Daksha. That's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 20.108, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami, it is a living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna because he is the marginal energy of Krishna. So when we can realize our soul's natural position and that all our relatives are also the servants of Lord Krishna, then we can forget our bodily relationships. See, based on our past karmic reactions and by the will of the Supreme Lord, some souls are accompanying us as father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister in our life journey. But all souls can be satisfied simply serving Lord Krishna. Just like how all our parts of the body is nourished by simply feeding the stomach. So Prabhupada explains in Bhagavatam 2:4-15, Yat Kirtanam Yat Smaranam, simply by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord, simply by remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, and simply by offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is immediately freed from material contamination, immediately freed from the material godly concept, immediately freed by the blazing fire of ecstasy. This effect takes place immediately without a second's delay. So let us all remember and follow the instruction of Prabhupada. Remember the lotus feet of Krishna and burn the bodily concept of life by blazing fire of ecstatic devotional service. So this episode, the standoff between Daksha and Shiva in this fourth canto is worth a number of lessons. See, to know a large part of the episode highlights how much harm can be created by unnecessary envy. We saw that. Daksha, who was falsely proud of his opulence, he mistreated Lord Shiva, the topmost Vaishnava, by not inviting him to the great sacrifice, which was presided over by great rishis and demigods. Even though Lord Shiva was not too much bothered about it, because of his unflinching devotional service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, right? So Mother Sati initially desired to take part in the yajna hosted by her father. So she went, in spite of the advice of Lord Shiva, but she was not greeted properly by the father, to whom she was once very dear. So understanding that both she and her husband were neglected deliberately, wantedly by her father, she decided to quit her body. So actually Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva. Now, even though Lord Shiva was externally associating with the ghosts and optical beings, right? Internally, he was completely absorbed in the remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Because of this, he was universally respected by all the demigods and sages. And Daksha could not tolerate this. So the property of envy is that when someone is given more respect in front of us, it burns us. So much so that Daksha was blind and unapologetic about his own daughter's death also. So envy makes us feel that what we are doing is justified, nothing wrong with it. So it makes us hard-hearted, rendering us invalid for bhakti. Hard-hearted means invalid for bhakti. It should be soft, just like Arjuna. So Srila Prabhupada wonderfully says, for the simple reason that his son-in-law, Lord Shiva, did not stand up to show him the formality of respect, he became so angry and hard-hearted that he tolerated even the death of his daughter, dearest daughter. So whenever any guest, even if he's an enemy, comes to our house, the Vedic etiquette is that we should receive them with sweet words and make them feel comfortable in our presence. But Daksha was such an elevated personality, could not remember these saintly qualities, even though he had so much power at his disposal to fill the universe with living entities. So the result of envy is that one not only suffers in this life due to its burning effect, but he also suffers extremely in his future life. So it is so proved in this case of Daksha also that because of his envy towards Lord Shiva, his head was cut off and was replaced by the head of a goat. One cannot imagine how painful it must be to live with the head of a goat, especially when just a while before he was so much respected by all demigods. This point is rightly given in 1:10:144 by Vasudev to King Kamsa, who was about to slay his own sister during the marriage, right? So when we forget the temporary nature of our own life in this world, we start becoming envious of others, particularly over seemingly blocking our way to glory and fame, and start fearing that they may harm us. even though they may not have any idea of this in their minds. As a result, we try to harm them either through body, words, or mind, and this starts the chain reaction between the two parties. So let us remember what happened to Daksha due to his undue envy towards Lord Shiva, and pray that let us not get caught up in the web of such bad qualities as envy and pride by living in this world. Krishna has given everything for us. He has given every one of us the quota we are eligible for. And we really do not need anything beyond that, except, of course, unflinching bhakti unto the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Sorry for taking a little long. Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shira Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gautam Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Professor Madhavi, for giving this opportunity to glorify the Lord and purify myself. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Padmanabh Archidas from Haranagar.
Hare Krishna, Guru. Hari Bol. Nice to see you. Hear your voice.
I don't have any questions. I have a sharing.
Sure, please do,
Nice.
Guru, please.
So in the beginning of your class, very nicely you brought out that bodily perception and conception of persons, how foolish we are. Very nice, Prabhu. And devotional service, you gave that Ratha Yatra example. So we feel fresh. We never feel tired. That is
True.
amazing. With Bali Maharaj life, you gave example. And you gave some example for house. Finally that house going to get fire. But even though we are nicely decorating this like that. Amazing, bro. Thanks for all your nectar. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for sharing that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Lot of life lessons in this short story, Prabhuji. Had we known about this when we were young, maybe we could have avoided many, problems which we have faced all these years. I'm really happy and I'm grateful and thankful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mataji, you're right, Mataji. Better late than never, right? At least
Yes,
in this
Prabhuji.
lifetime. That's true.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
No, what is there in Bhagavatam? Maybe I have read it, but I did not imbibe so much as I got to imbibe today, Prabhuji, and I'm extremely grateful and thankful to you.
Jai Gurudev Vijay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you. If you have anything else, otherwise I will stop. Any more? Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna reciprocates the way we feel for him. That is also very nice, Prabhu. E yata prapadyante.
Yes.
Yeah. So he just reciprocates. Yeah. Yeah. Hare
To
Krishna.
the extent we surrender, he reciprocates.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very
Prabhu.
nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Even if there is fault in the opposite person, and it's a glaring fault where you have told us that we should, overlook it and look at the good, quality in that person. That is a little difficult, but I think we should inculcate that, Prabhuji. It's not so easy.
Yeah, I know. I means another example I can give. See, we think that we tolerate other people, right? I'm tolerating you. But how much other people are tolerating us, we don't know.
But
This
this
is
is
point to
even more
understand.
profound. This is even more profound. Thank
Right.
you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I have a question on this.
Yes, Guru.
So being a mentor for some devotees, so sometimes it happened to take some. It's very difficult. We may become a villain to our subordinate or someone to get it done something in an appropriate way to please our senior Vaishnavas. Suppose so we are in a team. Say you are assigning some work to me, and I am coming with my associates or something. I am coming. So there your expectation is different, but my associates are getting it into different. So like that kind of a scenario, how to handle or how to deal it. So totally deviates from what you are expecting and what I am arriving to offer to you, like that situation.
Very tough situation. I can understand. That means, for example, you're the senior and you're telling your people who are maybe who are working under you. Like we take an example of the office, right? Boss is telling you to do something, right? Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Similar. So that way, see, so then you cannot refuse that I cannot do that, right? Boss is telling you. The point to understand is, since we are in divorces like that, because materially definitely there will be, you may throw the job and whatever it is. But if you are a devotee, how you can
Yes,
handle that? So if you are a
yes,
devotee, if you are a Krishna conscious person, you will do your job sincerely. That you're doing a job sincerely, honestly, without any expectations, then you are a real devotee. That means the people around you and even the boss, they will feel happy with such a
okay,
person. So if the
yes,
moment you give the person, so nowadays what happens? People give you a job there after you. तुम्हारे सर पे बैठा रहेगा हो गया क्या कभी हुआ this that and all. But if you give them that confidence that you that if I the boss says that if I give this job to this person, I don't have to worry. I can sleep and go home also because he will take care of it. So he has so much confidence he has already created because of his through his behavior, through his way of doing the work and all. So that's
yes,
the thing we have to elevate ourselves to that extent. So of course, without that, it's difficult. See, if you give us a particular person to job, you go and give this prasad to this person. Like after Jagannath, you might be distributing, right? You go and this area, go and distribute. If that person doesn't do, then you feel angry. You feel that is definite, that is natural.
yes,
So then you will not, you will try. Okay, this person is difficult because he will not give. But whereas the other person, person B, this Prabhu is very good. Whatever you tell him, he will do. So you just do give it to him because of his behavior. Because he is very submissive. He hears what is moment the instruction is given, he listens to it perfectly.
yes.
Listening is also very important. So he listens and does it. So that much creation of that confidence in everyone. I hope Prabhu, Romantic, is able to
Yes,
give.
Prabhu. So that person may not feel offended because the person is not doing, but next time
Yeah,
I'm changing that person to next person
yeah,
to distribute prasadam. That person may, I'm feeling that that person may feel, so the Prabhu is not giving that seva, he is giving to another devotee like that. That person may feel. So that
yeah.
hurts me. So how to deal this like that? I
Ah,
was having
correct.
a
Now I got
confusion.
your point. Now I got it. That means, see, in this case, okay, we should not tell him that because we can give him some because we have to try to understand that person's ability. Different people have
Yes.
different abilities, different mentalities. So if
Ah,
the leader point is how, so maybe this person is good in this particular thing. You try to give
yes.
him. You don't let him feel that I have taken it out from you and giving it to him. I am
Okay.
giving to you some because you are doing you know this you for basic based on your nature. This will be suited for you and you can do this better.
Yes.
We
Yes.
encourage him that way.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that
So
might be.
So handling this, I was finding it difficult the recent days. That's what I
Okay.
shared. Correct.
Yeah, because we can see from our Guru Maharaj's age, because they don't give any responsibility to you, everyone the same responsibility. Each person, according to their nature, they give you. So that people are very happy to do that seva, right?
Yes.
So because they know each person's nature. Oh, this Prabhu can do this way. This Mata is good in this one.
Yes.
So as a leader, we should understand what is their mentality, what is their background. So by
Yes.
knowing that, we know what is he good at, what he loves to do. Once you
Um,
know that, then they will, without telling only, they will do it for you.
yes.
Okay, bro.
Thanks, bro. Nice.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Right. Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Your talk, I understood that we should not see the mistakes or forgive them. Like, okay, they'll still continue to trouble you, harm you, but still you are let going things. But how can we take this?
Yeah.
It is
See,
harsh.
I think there is a story of this Narada Muni giving, uh, telling a snake to stop biting this. No, so the snake listened to it. So later on, what happened? All the children, or anybody, they were throwing stones because it was not biting now. So it's throwing stones and beating with sticks and all. Next time when Narada Muni came, the snake told, "See, I listened to your instruction that you should not um, bite anybody else or do anything like that. So I was listening to you." So Narada Muni said, "I told you that, but I didn't tell you to not show your fangs. Actually, when the snake shows like this, then the people will get afraid, they'll go away, right? So that means you should not be so submissive and so much so that people pour everything on your head. You should sometimes give, we should be assertive. It's not arrogant or like something assertive, a little bit, so that like a defense. So the next time they will not come to you. So that you should, each person can decide on their own what is the best way. It's not that you shout and get angry, because it's controlled anger or something like that. No, it's tell them in such a way that they'll not feel offended, but they know that you mean business. So this is not the right way. Okay, so it's not that completely you go down. Okay, you should be giving it back to them at certain times.
In a gentle way, even if we give, that becomes adverse way it will be taken. More comments and harm is done to you.
So better than avoid. If that is so, then avoid. Just like Lord Shiva, he was not staying there. He was being insulted by Daksha, right? He didn't. He kept quiet. Just left that scene. He left the scene. That is the best way.
But still, they
continue.
Continue commenting, spoiling our name.
So why you are feeling this commenting? Because you are hearing that. Don't worry about that. The moment you stop hearing whatever they are doing again and again, that is they are provoking you. They know that you get angry by provoking. A little bit here, a little bit there, then you get angry again. So they are trying to provoke you. So see, it is a story of those days we had the key toy, with key. Chabi dete hai na. So what happens when you give the key, then that drumming and all that toy will do. So after some time, the key gets bad or something. So when you put the key also, it doesn't work. So when it doesn't work, what do? You throw it away. That you ignore. So the person is provoking you, giving chavi deta rehta hai. The moment you stop reacting, the best thing is not to react. So then most slowly and steadily it goes away. You have to go back to, if anything happens, just take your chanting beads and start chanting. Not in front of them. Later on, you just chant or take some verses. I try to take the spiritual solution. Material solution is again bad. It is easy. What I'm telling is, of course, it is easy for me to speak, but difficult to handle and all. But it will happen slowly and steadily. Okay. I hope Mataji, with more capacity, I was able to whatever is.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Because this world is like this. Every step there is difficulties. It's not so easy, but at some stage it will definitely, the frequency will come down. Ultimately, the people will realize there is no point in provoking again. What happens? See, if that person is provoking you, if you react, then neither one will be benefited. Both will lose your health also, mental health also, everything. That person also, he feels that the other person may feel that I won. What do you want? Nothing. Any healthy problem, everything. That his mind will always be thinking of how to start again, criticism or anger. So there is no point. There is nothing win-win. And we have this temporary body, temporary life. Time is short. You should be selfish that I have to go back to Krishna in this lifetime. So my only goal is to chant Hare Krishna mantra and be in association with devotees and do all these things. There may be non-devotees within, of course, definitely within our family and all. Doesn't matter. We have to be very smart in dealing with these things. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This world is full of remote control. It's like a remote control. Don't give the remote to others to control us.
True. Absolutely.
Easy to say. Very difficult. Practice.
Remove the battery from the remote. So it cannot work.
That's only.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Balaji. Thank you, Sanparamati. Thank you very much. So you're getting beyond time. Sorry for. So we'll stop here now. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Thank you, Padma Prabhu, for your association.
Thank you. Thanks for your lecture. Thank you. Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam. Thank you, Jyoti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.